more hiding feelings in Russian, more weird Yuki moments. Hopefully, they highlight of everything so far. You know, there's been some great stuff, and I really enjoyed the first episode. But man, has the Yuki brain right really taken over right now. I don't know. This past week, I think about that so much. The random switching to English, the just being extremely weird. The, I don't know what it is. It's the different. It's a type of chaotic energy I need, and I really enjoy it. And I'm praying she's a very, very important part going forward. You know, I'm hoping she's not just like random gags. That side of her, right? Like her actual side, not this weird, actual presentable, proper person that we see when she's actually around the others. I'm hoping we get the other side a ton more because that is so much fun. We don't even have to go into exposing it to the others. I don't even care. We can keep it between us, but she is so enjoyable to watch. So hopefully we dive into that a little bit more. Seems like Alya is kind of probably not catching on, but she's at least questioning as to why they're so close, why they were together, why they left together, you know, got off the train at the same stop, all that type of stuff. We can just kind of chalk it all down to they are friends. They've made that very known since, you know, they were young. They probably live close to each other. We can make excuses and all that sort of stuff, but we will have to, I guess, see how far she wants to take it, if she wants to investigate these things on her own, or if she just wants to let it kind of be and see what happens. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe to the Sweet Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me comments with the episode or series. Let's go on episode 3. There's a maid girl. Am I seeing that right? Or does she just like to cosplay? Yeah. I wonder if she could be like a vice president or something, because we've met the president and we know we are a treasurer. Alya's sister is something, and then Yuki's something else, but neither of them hold like the other higher positions, so I wonder. Masha. Rough day, rough day. Spicy foods, shit going on with people we like. Lots of highs and lows. Right. What's even so special about the guy? Very much. Can you admit it to somebody else? Yeah, but do you like him? It doesn't matter if you are or aren't. He's literally the embodiment of everything you dislike. How did this come about? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We taking gold. We're bringing it home. Gasp. I must do it all on my own. Yeah, we'll slack till last minute. She takes it serious. This is where it all stems from. Dislike for people like him, reasons why she's alone nowadays without having friends. Where it all began. And we work so hard. Who needs them? Yeah, who needs them? I can do it all on my own. And that's where that independent nature comes from. Sure, sure. Lived here until 5 years ago, yeah? Yeah? Did you possibly have a different color hair? Huh? Are we gonna transfer it into he slacks and all that, but he's still extremely reliable, as Yuki's always kind of said it? So he has like a little bit of that different side to him. Also like how she sits in the exact same spot, no matter where she goes. Imagine sleeping through your whole first day. The fuck is wrong with this guy? It's gonna be the same no matter where we go, no matter what class. Yep. So work hard to get to a spot like this to avoid and not be around people similar to that. And look who you run into anyways. There it is again. Yep. Damn. So much effort just for this. I don't care how minimal it is. That's definitely a lot to take on, though. Being able to prioritize certain things over others and how much energy you put into it is crazy. I know, I got some people. They're easily in, yeah. You don't care, so I'll do it all. This is meant for a group activity. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's not just gonna suddenly have a change of heart, yeah. You are still going about it the wrong way, but I appreciate the effort. The pre party. Of course, of course. Followed, of course, by the pre party. And then the pre-party. And then the party itself. But now actually allowing her to experience it lets her see the other side completely and how so many people can actually come together and do things. And that there are proper ways to get people involved and motivate them to bring them together. A fun dance. I need him to walk up to her and be like, "My lady." Oh, this is your chance. This is your chance.
この学校はこういうとこ昭和だよな。今さら高野菜でフォークダンスって。
隣いいかしら。
もういいけど、踊りはいいのか？九条さんなら引く手あまただろう。あ、もしかしてフォークダンス踊れないとか？
You embarrassed, huh?
それでも小さい頃はバレエをやってたのよ。あの程度のダンスならすぐ踊れるわよ。まあ面倒だから踊れないってことにして、誘いは全部。
I simply don't care enough to.
慣れているから大したことないわ。
さいですか。さすが孤高のお姫様。
何それ？
あれ、知らない？九条さん最近他の生徒にそう呼ばれてるんだ。
いらないのはお姫様の方よ。
普通に褒め言
So
葉。
he calls her that
苦
though.
労知らずの夢の住人みたいな意味で聞こえるわ。
まあ、そういう見方もあるか。
確かに私は容姿も才能も人並み以上のものを持ってる。
I'm self-aware. I know what I got.
それにあぐらをかいたことなんて一度もない。
She is not, and we can see the effort
生まれが良かっただけ
indicated by the bandage.
不快だわ。私が間違ってたわ。私一人でやろうとしていたらこんな気持ちで学園祭を過ごすことはできなかったと思うから。
The traditional way.
ごめんなさい。あの時八つ当たりして。
気にすんなって。俺は軽い手続きをしただけで。
ある。
俺ね。
いらないとか
Be my
言う
friend.
はなしよ。
あ、そういや、ロシアってなんか特殊な愛称で呼び合う習慣が。
Ah, hence why he calls her. Gotcha, gotcha.
アーリャよ。家族にはアーリャって呼ばれてるわ。
そうか。なら、詫びと礼代わりにアーリャ呼びする権利をもらおうか。
何それ？それのどこがお礼なの？
That's fun.
みんなが憧れる
And everybody else.
一人だけ愛称を呼びする男として
Yeah.
別にいる。
Everyone will be like, what the fuck?
ありがとうございます。
キモ。
九条さん。
Turn him
よかったら
down.
僕と踊ってくれませんか？お前。
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
アリサさん、実はずっと気になってました。
We all agreed to go.
待ってください。どさくさ紛れに告白してんじゃねえ。ずるいぞ。
ごめんなさい。私踊れないから。
No, no, no. You can, just not with them.
そうそう、大丈夫。俺も踊れないから。ほら、ノリへ行けばどうにでもなるって。
Swoop in and save her.
悪い。
Ah, suddenly the OP starts making more sense to me.
心臓がうるさい。
そうそう、さっき言ってたよな。バレエをやってたからフォークダンスなんて見ればできるって。
Alright, prove it.
それじゃあ、お手並み拝見と行こうか。
In front of everybody.
上等。
Her really does stay up with Yuki all night, doesn't he? Her sleeps all throughout school.
どうした？なんかゴミでも見るような目になってるぞ。
このクズ。
当たり強くない？
А вчера был таким симпатичным. そっか。それで好きになっちゃったのね。素敵。だから違うって話聞いてた？
They sound lovely to me.
聞いても二人の友達から
The classic, the classic.
私とサー君もそうだったもの。
Oh.
まあでもそうね。
Ah.
関しては認めているし、信頼もしているわ。何を襲われた私を助けてくれた時、のろけなら出て行ってくれる？もう、アーリャちゃん冷たい。
ってなんで。
She's gonna start. Ah,
私は
love.
マリア・ミハイロブナク女。アーリャちゃんの姉で生徒会初期よ。よろしくね。
じゃあ、マーシャさんで。
Close the gap real quick.
よろしく。
なんですか？
She recognizes it.
クゼ君、下のお名前は？
ま、
But I'm confused because in the flashback, they had Isla's eye color.
まさしか。
So that's why I'm confused.
腕の後ろに何かついてるか？
ごめんなさい。 この人がアーリャちゃんのお友達なのねと思ってつい。
Right, she doesn't have many of them.
の人バイキュン。
すいません、何ですか？
ごめんなさい。行きましょうかって言っただ
But
けな
she's
のに。
straightforward.
あ
Yeah, because in the flashback in the first episode, I made the assumption that it actually was the sister, and based on the tone of voice and the way that she acts and everything, it matches perfectly. But the problem is the eye color was different in the flashback, while the hair not. It does not look just like her.
そうだ。生徒会メンバー全員をイメージしたぬいぐるみを並べるというのはどうかしら。
あ、どこの夢の国ですか？
会長はこっちのメガネをかけたライオンさんね。
いや、だから似てんな。
That way, yeah, it looks just like him. Hold on.
これを。
いや、似てるけども。
Hold the fuck up.
ダメでしょう。いや、こっち
But they're cute. So why is there a lion with glasses?
自分用に買おうと。
レシートを一緒にしたら会計のアーレに叱られますよ。
She could never get mad at me.
ダメだ。この人自由すぎる。いつもこんな感じなのか？
I kind of like her.
だとしたらアーリャ相当苦労してんだろうな。
じゃあアーリャニャンをよろしくね。
アーリャニャン。
あら似合うわ。
どんな感性
Keep pushing it.
どれがいいと思う？
いや、俺は紅茶わからないんで。
そう？
I'm not an expert in any teas
母
personally.
親にいろいろ教えられてるユキならこういう時に混ざれるんだろうけどな。
Hmm.
俺は
Slight hints
ごめん
toward.
な、
Oh,
マジか。父さんと母さん、これからは別々に暮らすことになったんだ。
okay. This is what we assumed.
わかった。だったら僕
Ugh.
父さんについていくよ。兄様、私はこの家に残るね。クゼ君、
Looks like you thought of a very sad memory.
辛そうな顔してる。
Hold on, this has happened before.
よしよし。
Actually, a little different.
なんだこの感じ。
Oh no, it isn't.
懐かしいよ。
That is. It's the same.
安心するような。
Oh, but
マーシャさん、背中に当たって。
oh my god. As she washes on in anger. Are we doing another ED? Why every episode? That's crazy. Funny enough, we go from childhood friend to finding out it's actually twist of otaku buddy and sister to then now bringing it back and having childhood friend be relevant again, but being sister of main interest. It's weird. It's a funny way for them to kind of flip it. I gotta, before we look, I'm like 99% sure because I made this note in the first episode. I don't even have it downloaded, so now I have to go to fucking Crunchyroll or something to find it. The blonde girl that we see in it. Okay, yeah. So I'll pull up Crunchyroll. Yeah, so the version or the person that we see in the flashback here from the first episode has Alya's eye color and blonde hair, which is neither of these other characters. So my initial assumption when we first met them was something about the sister. I don't know why. I just felt like it was. I did, but then it wasn't, and I saw this and I realized with the eyes, and I was like, it's probably her, probably different hair, and then something came about later. I don't know, and they forgot each other, they can't remember things. But now we're able to bring it up with the other sister, and she's able to be introduced, and we show like the locket and everything she has, the recognition that she has when she's able to see Kuze and actually recognize almost his face, it seems like, and so many of the familiar things that kind of come back between the two of them, even the voice and everything sounding extremely similar, the Russian itself sounding extremely similar. So all of this stuff comes together, and it's like a little weird now for me because it's are we showing this flashback as a intentional way to make the viewer kind of confused in the similar way that Kuze himself is confused and can't fully recognize or remember the vision, believing possibly these were her eye color and her hair color and all that, while maybe none of that was actually the case. And something along those lines is he actually can't remember. Or maybe this was what she looked like, hair color that is, but eye color not exactly intact. And he's just kind of replacing it with somebody like Alya because she has this, and that's the only person that he really knew that spoke of Russian that, or that he knows of today. So he's like morphing his own vision of what he can almost kind of remember what this person looked like. I don't know, because that's weird. No, am I wrong? Like that's weird. No, there's always the other possibility that it was neither of them, and maybe they know and they had like another friend that they kind of knew of through somebody else, and that's actually who this is, and that person's completely like irrelevant to the story or something. But I just feel like that would be so weird for the sister now to be able to see this and have like these recognitions and also keep like this locket of this person and all this like weird stuff. But it's just like it feels like it has to end up being her. But my question is more so, why are we seeing the vision of this other girl when we ended up seeing that? Because the eyes and the hair and everything is so different that it makes me really confused. So I don't know exactly how to feel. I guess we'll have to just wait and fully see, and maybe that gets kind of answered. But yeah, I don't know. Now I do really want to check out her voice actress because the voice sounded so familiar to me, just like something about the character. And I feel like there's another character I'm aware of that I really enjoy, and I can't put my finger on it. I guess we'll check out Yuki's as well, because I don't think I actually have looked at Yuki's. But first, with Miss Amasha, I don't know if I have anything that I've seen with her. No, I haven't. Well, I mean, I have, but it's not like the voice almost that I feel like was coming to mind is not listed in here, which is what I think is the weird part. So now it's gonna bug me, because now there's somebody that's constantly coming to mind that I think sounded extremely similar to that. I can't put my fucking finger on it. I don't know. And Yuki just is pretty new. I guess her voice actress does not have a lot of roles, so I'm not familiar with any of that stuff. Okay, so the episode itself is really interesting and pretty cool because we take essentially everything that we've built up and done the first 2 episodes and don't do that at all. We make it a kind of flesh out the characters a lot, but don't really add a lot to the comedic aspect of it. Don't go a little too over the top with certain things, and we tone things down a lot and get relatively serious just for us to be able to explore Alya herself and then her relationship and the foundations that she ends up having with Kuze. So I think that's pretty cool because definitely shows that they are capable of changing the pace of this, the writer that is, but also just the staff and stuff portraying that to match the tone extremely well and actually do a pretty good job at hitting certain serious moments maybe a little bit well in comparison to only being able to match a certain vibe of like one thing. So that gets me kind of excited because we never know what hard hitting things they might be able to have going for us a little bit into the future. The backstory and everything that we have of Alya and the explaining almost in the full like actualization of her coming to those terms, and maybe still not really coming to the terms, but I guess from the viewer and her sister's perspective of, you know, why her feelings for Kuze are what they actually are, make perfect sense. And I actually really love them because they're not over the top like love at first sight type of like bullshit dumb reasonings and, you know, typical anime type things. Instead it was literally something so simplistic. It was literally a grudge against a certain type of people who act out or don't see things eye to eye with you, and then being able to come into confrontation with somebody who's very similar to that, even though you're in this prestigious like institution that you didn't assume that you would find anybody to be like that, maybe that you went purposely to isolate yourself from these kinds of people. And instead now we run into somebody, but deep down underneath it can actually realize that they are plenty capable, that they do see things maybe from an entire different perspective. And instead of being boxed in the way that maybe you do, they get a little bit more free with it and they go out of box and end up finding different methods and ways that they can do things. They prioritize certain ways that other people can feel or how you can motivate people and do certain things, as opposed to just actually getting the task at hand done, and instead allows her world itself to be opened up so much more and find so many different ways that you can potentially be inclusive of others and get other people motivated about these things and not feel like you're the only one who has to put in put in a bunch of work. And also being reassured too by him of like, while he said you don't need to like try as hard in everything that you do, it's more of, well, because we're going to be able to do it all together and there's a certain experience and vibe and stuff stuff that you're not going to be able to get if you do things the way that they are here. The tradition itself is to coordinate everything together and work together with a group of people. And if you're not doing that and you're not working on it that sort of way, you're sort of missing out on that experience. Being able to allow her to see, you know, that others are willing to put in the effort and do things if you make it kind of worthwhile maybe for them, or if you are inclusive and you do it in a way that allows them to enjoy it, and there isn't just only one strong and straightforward method for you to kind of do things. It doesn't mean just because they don't see things the way that you are, don't want to approach things in the exact same light, doesn't mean that they're not willing to put in that effort, doesn't mean that they're not interested in doing so, or that there is an issue with them kind of doing it. I mean, I get it entirely from her perspective, and I actually really appreciate the idea of her being like, I don't care the way that people treat me or view me or whatever because of how I look or appear to them or whatever, these preconceived things and the feelings that they have. I'm going to constantly work hard, and I'm going to never allow handouts and all those sort of things that people would assume I get to actually become a reality. Instead, I want to actually work for everything, and I always have, and I always will continue to, which is a really strong thing. I want to also work extremely hard at anything that my name could possibly be attached to, and I don't want to have to sit there and have a product or have something that I am unhappy with, and I want to be able to control that to the fullest extent. These are all things that you can't fault her for, and are actually really good qualities and skills that you would want a lot of people to have, and I'm sure plenty of you, and myself included, wish I was able to fully feel that way and fully actually like realize that, but for what it is now, I can't. But I think it's great that she's able to, but instead being able to have her eyes kind of opened up a little bit, where, well, you want to be independent completely and you want to do things all the way on your own. At certain times you got to kind of introduce other people, and you gotta have a pairings with some others. You got to be willing to and able to work with others. You got to be willing to compromise on things and maybe focus effort and energy into different aspects and stuff. I feel like this is the exact same talk that we just had last week with the, what was it, second episode of Days with My Stepsister. I feel like it's the exact same thing. It's very simple, very different characters and ways that everything's kind of portrayed, but fairly similar at least. The sister is a big old goofy. I really like her. She's a little, I don't even know the word to describe her. Actually, I have no clue what word to describe her with, but I like her. She's fun. Her voice itself is extremely sweet. She's extremely sweet of a person too. She just seems like a bunch of fun to kind of be around. Like nothing too crazy. Like she's like that calming sweet, you know, like you kind of want to be around somebody like her. Pushing a little bit of where her and Kuze ended up becoming friends and what their relationship is like, and how all of that is kind of evolved into the way that she ends up feeling today. We learn a lot about the whole scenario that we just kind of overly discussed in the way that everybody was feeling. The Russian itself still sounds a little off, and once again, I don't know if that's just my not understanding of the language and also unfamiliarity with it that doesn't make me fully understand if this is like good pronunciation or something, but it does feel a little off. I don't have a problem with it from her or the classmates or any of their point of views, because like they're kids in the scenario, so you assume they're speaking, it wouldn't be completely like put together well, but even when the teacher comes in and stuff, it still feels a little off or weird to me. But we get a lot of stuff too, where like her holding the umbrella and her being here, and even the dance scene and the stuff that we get later are all things prevalent within the OP that all start making so much sense now to me, which is pretty cool. And even here, immediately when she transfers and everybody just like praising her and seeing her for being this certain sort of person already early on, and we end up finding out that she goes to this certain institution and everything, and it's extremely hard to get in, and she did extremely well in all of this, and it's probably in an effort to remove herself from those sort of people that she was kind of with before, until she finds somebody that like Kuze who's actually here. We find out that she also lived here until she was 5 years ago, so I'm assuming she probably lived here for a couple of years early into her life, moved Russia likely, and then ended up coming back here, and that's where she is now, which makes me really question what the hell her family dynamic is like, if she just went like with one parent somewhere else or something, or if they just fully moved and then they ended up coming back, constantly observing onwards to him, and why this person takes this sort of approach, right? Why he is willing to be so lazy and act out the way that he is, but instead she ends up finding out later that's not exactly the case. Well, it is, it's still at the same time isn't exactly that. He shows this thing on the exterior, but on the interior, he does have that little bit, that thing that's underlying within him that maybe you fully didn't understand, or people within your class before maybe you've had, and you just don't properly understand the communication ways and plenty of other things that you can to really understand that. And he's able to teach her a lesson for the most part here about being able to work together and framing things in ways that allow other people to get more excited and actually doing things not just for yourself or not just on your own, but with others. And while it's a good thing and she wants to work hard for it, sometimes being able to get other people involved, especially in a scenario like this that's meant for you to do things together with other people, bouncing ideas off of each other, being able to create things, you know, getting the approval from others and actually seeing something come together that an entire group has worked on as opposed to an individual. There's a different feeling that you can kind of get, a sense of reward that's extremely different. Getting to see everybody have so much fun putting all these things together, it's an experience that she's never had either, and you can see her enjoying herself quite a bit as well, which is great, until they end up winning the award too for the best attraction, which is nice. I like the conversation and stuff that we have here, teasing her a little bit about not being able to dance or anything, having to turn everybody else down. Doesn't like the name of Ice Princess. What does he call her? He calls her something to do with Hime, right? So that's why I assumed he always ended up calling her that anyways, even though she was like, you can't, which would like more indication towards special treatment, even if that's not the case. I do like her reasoning though. It's because it makes it sound like I am a certain way when they give her that name. And I've never once kind of just taken that and taken the handouts and the things that other people have kind of given her. And as a reward for kind of helping out and an apology for lashing out and all of that stuff, I'm going to allow you to utilize a nickname that she's able to have. And that's why he's the only one who can actually call her that, which is nice. I love all three guys coming and none of them actually have like an order in which they agree to actually ask her to dance, and then they get all angry at each other instead. In the moment where she's a little bit flustered, we have to pull her away, and we're able to come in. It's like the knight in shining armor, you know? He comes in, he pulls her away, willing to dance with her. And this is the big climax moment, the big romantic moment that she clearly cannot see. And then I love how as soon as the next day starts, the beginning of calling him something within Russian is when it all actually began. The sister seeing right through, being us essentially. This for her not being able to at all. Wow, it was just the same as Sakura, right? Yeah, that's feels like that's somebody else we already know. Come here to do something to help Yuki. She's so excited. She wants to meet him and actually like learn about him a lot because of how much her sister actually cares. And then ends up being like, wait a minute, you look like somebody I fucking know. Do you have another name? Whoa, whoa. And then that's where like I'm so confused. The eyes are so different. I showed you at the beginning of the person looked like they're so different. So I just don't know. I can't get a read, I guess. Unless they're different people entirely, and I'm bugging. I don't know. We're just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna get too wrapped up on it. I like to says the exact same thing after he asks. Doesn't hide your feelings at all. While she technically does a little bit with what she says, she's still a little bit more straightforward. Something that somebody else could never actually be. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Maybe it does. Do you guys see this? Does it look like her? I don't think it does. I think the other one looks just like him. Like, what the fuck does he have glasses? I don't know. I don't really understand the whole point. It was all going out and doing the stuff here, but whatever. I guess you need to get some stuff. No pictures allowed or anything. We get the coffee. We learn a little bit about his dynamic at home. The sister probably learned a lot of stuff from the mom, and it seems like basically the split between them, why they each have different names that they go by, which is something that we all noted last week, and the reasons why she was like, I decided I'm just going to stay over tonight or something as well. So I wonder if he does live with the dad or if he's kind of on his own again now. I know at the moment here he split. They ended up probably him going dad, sister staying mom, and then both of them not really kind of being together. So they worked together really a lot when they were younger, and now they have the separation stuff that he had to go through, and the unfortunate circumstances that unfortunately brings. I mean, I don't know. I guess the relations and stuff that they really have, does he have any sort of connection and any sort of thing with them, or is like the mom or somebody take issue with the fact that she wasn't the chosen one and actually wants nothing to do with them or something, which would be a really fucked up thing. I don't know. There's not enough for us to, I guess, go too deep into that. I love her kind of messing around with him a little bit here as this watches on, all fucking angry, exactly as she kind of would be. And another ED, which is weird, but all right. Really fun, really good. I like the separate and different approach that we're able to take and showcasing that we are capable of doing these things and actually making them hit a decent bit and just be pretty strong pieces of storytelling, in my opinion, as opposed to just constantly having to make like over the top gags and jokes and stuff. The only disappointment, lack of Yuki. Just wish we had her after building her up so much last week to not have her at all. It just it hurts a little bit, but maybe we'll get some more. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you liked it all, the like and subscribe. Feel free to check out the videos and channel and comment with this episode series. Back for episode 4 next week. Have a great one. Peace.